All right, this is Honors Algebra 2 Pre-Calculus. We are doing 5.8 in Algebra 2, which is solving quadratic inequalities. But in this particular video, we're just going to talk about how to graph quadratic inequalities, which is the same process as graphing the linear inequalities. It's just about whether it's a parabola instead of a line. So solid or dotted, if the inequality symbol has an equal to, then you use a solid line for your curve. And if it's not equal to, then you use a dotted line. And if y is greater than, you shade above the parabola, and if y is less than, you shade below the parabola. And that's really it. So let's walk through two quick problems. All right, so we're asked to graph the solution to y is greater than or equal to negative x minus 2 quantity squared plus 1. So this is already in vertex form, right? So if we look at this, right, so this is already, all right, cool. So this is already in vertex form. So if we graph the equation y equals x minus 2 quantity squared plus 1, the vertex is at 2, 1, right? Because that's my x minus h quantity squared plus k, right? And my a is 1. So what that means is that my vertex is at 2, 1, and then my first squares are going to go up 1, right 1, and up 1, left 1, right? So those are my two dots. And if you want, you can actually figure this out. Since it's just a regular x squared, if you go over 2, you're going to go up 4. So this is basically what the parabola is going to look like. So over 2 and up 4 from the original. Oh, I missed. 1, 2, that's 3. There's 4. My bad. Okay. So ignore this dot and this dot because I can't count. Okay. So if we go ahead and draw this, cool. Come on, there we go. So so if we look at the inequality, right, because it's greater than or equal to, the equal to says that we should use a solid curve, right? And because it says y is greater, I should shade above this thing. So if I go ahead and do my best to connect these dots in a way that's not tragic, there's my solid curve. Shading above would be here, and that's my inequality. All right, so last one. Same idea. So if I look at the equation, not the inequality, I have y equals 2x minus 3 quantity squared minus 2. My a is 2, right? My h is 3, and my k is negative 2. So what that tells me is that my vertex is going to be at 3, negative 2, right? And then since my a is 2, so I'm going to go ahead and go to 3, negative 2. My a being 2 means I go over 1 and up 2. Over 1 and up 2, right? If you wanted to figure out what's happening if you go over 2, remember how before I went over 2 and I went up 4, right? Because essentially 2 squared is 4, right? So now if I go over 2 units, I should be going up 8. So essentially this is a vertical stretch by 2. So over 2 units, there's my 4 and there's 8. So there's one dot and then over 2 units and it should be 4 and 8, which is there. Okay, so if I look at the inequality stuff, right, I have a y is less than or equal to. Well, this tells me that it's a solid line and this tells me that I'm shading below. So I'm going to draw a solid line, right, for my curve. And again, if you miss a little, you miss. It's fine. Just put a note. It's fine. And then shade below is going to be everything that's not inside the parabola. And that's it for this last video of 5.8.